Let's see a few examples about using media queries for links and the column layouts. We already have few links here, navigation links. So as usual, media screen, the maximum width can be 600 pixels. Let's see how the links are connected. Now you have a div class, the navigation link section, and then you have an unordered list which has a class called navigation links, and then the list and the anchor. So in the navigation links, basically given the height and the line height, there's no margin and padding. And for the unordered list, it is a inline block with the same height and line height. A list style type is none. Of list type is none to take out the bullets, and then the float is left. Right, the float is left. That's why it's horizontally aligned, and there's a padding. The navigation links anchor color is white, and the font size, padding, the text decoration is enter. Okay, so I need to have a condition now. For that, let's see how it is aligned. Below 600 pixels, there is no difference. What I would say now is let's remove the float here. So if it is below 600 pixels, because it's max width, right? Say the float left is none, and no, there's no float. Okay, so did you see the link 1 is here? Where did the link 2 and 3 go? Okay, I'll try to resize here. It's here. So in that case, this header should also change, right? So this is usual, like without the float, this is how it has to be here. It's there. But again, this background also has to change. We'll see about that. This is the navigation link section. It's better if you keep this here. The same order. Height can be 50 pixel. 50 pixel. Okay, the height is increased. Okay, and this looks all right, isn't it? So when the height is reduced to 600 pixels, anything below 600 pixels, this is how it see. Obviously, in a mobile, you would see like this, whereas in your desktop, you would see like this. So F1 XR, this is how you see. But when you do a landscape, this is how you see, because the width changes. It is all about the width. It is not about this device. So we have given the width here. I mean, just don't be bothered about width. You can also use height here. Okay, so we saw this example about links. Let's see what we could do about the columns here. Now we have 3 columns, but did you notice that when we try to reduce these columns, becomes ugly. This one just gets so bad. Okay, so we'll see how we can fix those columns based on the width. So the columns are pretty much these. We have a content class, and then we have left, center, and right. So what I do in the content is set in the content. So the height is 560 pixel. We'll change that. So in the content div, I'm saying float left, whereas gonna remove that. Let me also take the height out. Okay, so this becomes one after the other. Should also fix the footer, but we'll first fix the columns now. Now, if you look at it, the left is 20%, center is 55, and the right is 25. So we'll fix all that. Left, center, and right. That is a problem here. See, it's 25 and 55 all have like different width. Say width is 100%. Now we're not going to say width is 33% because you know every div is one after the other. So that is what happens when I remove the float equal to none. So if I give 33, it'll just stand till here. Okay, now it has become 100, 100, and this 100. The links are always also, these are all very nice, right? And how do we fix the height? If you think about it, we have already given a height here. The height here. So going to remove that height here. Just say 100%. What happens to the footer now? Footer before that, I think we should fix the height. Probably the height can be 30% or even less, 20%. Oh, I'm just trying to fix this height. I should have trying to fix this height. Okay, so this is all fixed. So every div, this content div is nothing but each div, basically the left, center, and right. Or I could also give it here or combine all this here. It's all the same, right? All the divs inside the content or the left, right, and center. It's all the same. So the link is now well, and then we have all the three columns one after the other, and the footer is also looks well. So iPhone SE, it looks well, right? So obviously you will scroll and see. The columns which are basically horizontally aligned, when you reduce the size, it is vertically aligned because earlier I have given these columns as left, like I gave float as left. So there's one after the other, but here, whereas here in the media screen condition, I've given the float as none. That's why it works well in different screen. So this is one way of doing responsive design, but you have to keep changing this height and line height, all that for every size, 600, 500, 400. But generally it's a habit that all designers, they just work on 300 intervals. And if you look at this header, this is one portion that you have to really worry about. Now the header for this width, this is fine, but for the header for this width, it's not fine. So could resize the header a bit. Now this will just overwrite whatever you give here. Like you don't have to give all the values over here. So whatever you want to overwrite, just need to give those values. I'm going to reduce this to half of the height so that it looks well. So you have iPhone SE. I'm going to watch it in landscape. In landscape, for this width, this height is fine, but for the portrait, for this width, this is the right height. So just think of how well you could do responsive design and even practice on these media queries, because we will see viewport units in a few sessions, and you would notice how viewport units are really easier, because you if you see, you are maintaining like two pieces of code, not just two pieces of code. This is for the default one, and this is for 600, and then you will have one for 1000, and then you will have one for 1200 pixels. So you have to maintain different versions of your CSS properties. So we don't have to do that. So that's why viewport units comes to save.